Hi, I'm Greg Gavaziak.
And I'm Luke Phillips.
And this is the Semi Crazy Podcast, the podcast by truckers, for truckers.
They used to say I just had a decent network. Says I have a very good network.
Oh, good. Do your brag again because I didn't click record hard enough.
Fucking guy.
It's on though.
It is now, you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
My router is literally within arm's reach now. So
if you have to hit it or throw it out the window, it's there.
It's right on the windowsill. All I got to do is shove it hard enough and it'll go. I forgot what we were talking about now.
Well, that happens, so it's all right. Here's
episode 2 of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the topic: trucking.
I don't know nothing about trucking. I don't drive trucks.
Yeah, at least not today, anyways.
I haven't drove a truck this year.
Oh, me neither. Oh no, that's a lie. Or no, it isn't, because yesterday was the first day of this year, and I still haven't driven. I didn't even drive my pickup yet this year.
Me either. I drove the Cavalier to get Red Bull for this adventure that we're doing here now.
I see.
I got a Snapchat of your truck parked there at Blackjack's this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, from one of our. I think he listens, Andrew.
Think there's people that'll still listen?
No, fuck no. Starting over.
Yeah, new podcast for 2021.
Yeah, you got a dumb fuck and a grain truck.
Yeah, I haven't got a name for myself yet, but I'll figure it out.
So, I have somewhere here, bear with me, DM questions from faithful listeners.
All 8 of them.
Yeah, except I'm not even going to try and pussyfoot around the bush here. I got 13 unread Instagram messages, so this might take me a minute.
All good.
And we did ask for questions like a while ago.
Yeah, like when we were on last time.
Oh yeah, there's 4 messages from Marlon that are unopened. It's real good.
Well, there is a lost podcast that Marlon and I recorded without you that hasn't been. I'm not sure how much of it is edited down. I'm not sure how much of it is usable because there's a fact that we were drinking, and the editor would say that some of it is unlistenable. I think the word might even been unfucking listenable. So we'll see if that ever sees the light of day or not.
Right? Do you think that was the drinking or the guy that you had on? Oh, shots fired.
Oh, that was shots fired. You'll definitely hear about that. It's the
excuse me. I thought I had 2 DM messages. A whole 2. Wow, we're big time. But I lost one. I don't know who sent it to me, and I thought I left it on unopened, but I lied. Oh, I might have hit it somewhere. I should have done this before we got on the air.
Yeah, I think they call that show prep. Well, it's not really our strong suit.
I was prepped for the first one. Okay, I found it. Aha. Question to each of us. What was... Oh boy, this is going to be a tough one. What was, and please describe and lay out your very worst or scariest or oh shit moment while hauling a load to date and what you took away from that experience. Ferguson, I'm going to have words with him about this.
Do you want to go first?
No, shit, no. I don't know. I don't know what to even say about it, honestly.
Like, you don't know what to say about that moment, or you have a hard time picking one?
I have a hard time picking one.
I have a tough time as well, but
Because it's kind of 3 questions in one. Like, scariest and oh shit moment are 2 different things. In my mind, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got. Okay, I'll pick one for on road and I'll pick one for off road.
There we go.
Yeah, because I've gone over the time that I actually said "oh shit" at the marker, where it was the 4 oh shit marker, or 1 oh shit. No, it's 1 oh fuck. That's what it was. Anyways, um, that was really pretty early on in my log haul career, but that one wasn't actually the one that scared me the most. The one that scared me the most in the bush was when I met a truck coming out that didn't have a load on that was supposed to be loaded, and I called, he didn't answer. I went down to the one lane. He was coming out with an empty hay rack that should have been loaded, so he was coming out much faster, and we were going to meet on the bridge. So I loaded up and got over as far as I could, and he luckily had the presence of mind to throttle it up and get across the bridge. And 15 feet before, I mean, these are all approximates. It happened really fast because I was going about 70 clicks an hour when I head down there. And anyways, you lost, yeah. So at 70, I pulled it back and was pulling the truck back up onto the road because I was on the shoulder, and the grass along the side was all just like probably 3 inches of wet snow on top of grass. So my hay rack had gone down sideways and was sliding sideways down the ditch. And the bridge bed's about 35 feet from the bottom where the creek's at. And yeah, I was getting the tractor onto the bridge, looked in my mirror, my trailer was still sliding sideways down the ditch, and so the truck went onto the bridge deck straight away. The trailer was sliding sideways going down towards like the creek, and I just was getting ready to jump out on the driver's side. I've never been good at jump out of a perfectly good truck, but I thought at that point if I jump into the creek, I'll probably break both my legs, but I may live. But if I go upside down with this whole thing off a 35-foot tall bridge, I'm not going to walk away. So yeah, I pulled the button actually because I was slowing it down as much as I could. Pulled the button, was standing on the tank and getting ready to go when everything stopped. And the front axle of my hay rack caught the bridge abutment, which was like for some reason they didn't cut one log the same length as every other one, and that log caught the front axle of my Tridem and stopped everything. So when I got out and skinnied alongside the truck, like there's no guardrails on this bridge either. It's just like a glorified Bailey bridge. And I walked down the side of the truck. The drive's on the driver's side. I'm describing this so everybody can imagine it, but my drives were actually 4 feet off the ground on the driver's side. The steer axle was flat on the bridge deck, and my trailer was hanging off the side, just caught on that bridge abutment. And so to say I had an oh shit moment there, like I'm pretty lucky I didn't have to legitimately clean my shorts. It was damn scary. And then pulling it out of there was equally as scary because we actually hooked onto the front of the truck from the back of the truck and pulled the truck straight backwards with the grader that was chained up. And I had to be in it because someone had to steer the truck, which didn't make a lot of sense to me, but so when we got it back to where it kind of spun around with the grader, it stalled the grader and started pulling everything backwards into the creek bed. And I was in there holding the brake with my right foot vibrating. Like I've never pressed a brake pedal so hard in my life. And yeah, so pulled it out of there, got it up to the top. Kiwi said, we looked at everything. There was nothing. Miraculously, didn't even take the tire off the bead on the trailer. It was a flimsy little Pete that shouldn't have been hauling logs, so the frame just snapped right back to straight. Like unreal. Like I couldn't believe the truck didn't have a twist in it. Like if you'd have saw it, and I mean anybody who hauled logs out there that saw that accident would know exactly what I was talking about. It wasn't really an accident because we never even traded paint. Yeah, so we pulled it back out. And Kiwi just said to me, he says, "Well, if I were you, I'd get back in there and go for a load." And I'm like I was pretty scared to even be in the truck, period. Like it freaked me right out. And he says, you might not get back into her if you don't. So I thought, well, you're probably right. So I threw a set of chains on, even though it wasn't chain weather. Just put a set of chains on, went down the Windfall Main, grabbed a load of logs, took the slowest ride I've ever took to town. And then over the next 3 days, kind of got my mojo back and kept on trucking. But so if I learned something from that, it would be don't rely on a radio. If you don't hear from somebody, there could be a reason. So don't presume that if you're off the road that if it says radio controlled does not mean that you have a radio controlled road, because everybody's got to be on the same fucking wavelength.
Yes.
And yeah, what was the other question on it? Or was that pretty well it?
I think that was pretty well. Yeah, that was. Well, what did you take from it? Yeah, but you touched on that with the radio part.
Radio.
The
Yeah.
radio.
So that would be my off highway, and my on highway was just this November, and I was in Ontario, and I was just on the bypass around Thunder Bay, and a truck crossed the line, came over. I still don't know how we never touched mirrors even, but I thought I was done for. He came across into my lane. I was on the outside of the corner. He was on the inside. I had a guardrail on my outside, in the dark, and he was I don't know if he was sliding, but it sure seemed like it. But he was like 3 feet over the line. I don't know how I never touched the guardrail. I don't know how he never clipped me. His trailer was leaning so hard. He never should have been driving that fast. Yeah, it scared the crap out of me. And more for the sheer fact that I would say probably 90% of what happens out there, you do the best you can, but you really can't control what happens with anybody else. So.
Well, and that's just it. Like that story that you just told there is becoming more and more common, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is disappointing.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I mean, that there was no reason, but yeah, I've had more moments like that on like 17 and 11 out in Ontario than I did anywhere else. So yeah, I don't know. Just, and usually trucks with vans, just hauling ass, like just going too hard for the conditions or passing where they can't see or whatever. And yeah, I don't know.
It all ties
Marlon,
for me. It all ties back into why my trucks don't go east of White Shell Scale there.
yeah, it's I don't know. Like we were discussing it. I know Marlon said he'd had more close calls maybe out on the one, like on Rogers. And I mean, and which could be true, because I mean, there's the same kind of, you get the same kind of guys on there as well. I mean, everybody's seen that stuff on the gram or other places where you've seen pictures of accidents where they're just like, it's just pure stupidity. So,
Well, and when
but
you see these dash cam ones, especially, it's one of two places. It's Ontario or that Highway 1, Highway 5 corridor.
mm, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's nice actually sometimes to be on the prairies where it's 4 lanes and you don't have to worry about that. But I mean, it does have its own perils as well. I guess it's, when it comes right down to it, it is a job that it it can be dangerous, because I mean, really, when you look at how many even automobile accidents, right, and how many people die from that, when you take and put yourself into a situation where you're driving, I don't know, what would it be? Average person might drive 20,000 clicks a year, and you're doing, anywhere from 100 to 200 a year, or 250. Your chances are just going way up, right? So.
Yeah, and that's just it. And then complacency from other people, those people that only drive the 20,000 clicks a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't see it. They don't see all the stupidity that's out there and all the close calls. Because as soon as you do get out there and you see the close calls, is when people smarten up. They're like, "Holy fuck, this is a dangerous place."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a close call the other day. And this is kind of a rookie story, but whatever. I washed Friday night on the West End, and I didn't even leave the truck wash parking lot. I had to be in the. I was finished washing at 10:30. I had to be in Atchison for 10 a.m., so I just stayed right there, grabbed parts in the morning at Peterbilt, and I was coming off of the Yellowhead onto 60, and I touched my brakes to kick it off cruise. And by the time I got around up on to the bridge, the overpass headed south, my pup was smoking like a bastard. So my brakes never released. That valve was froze up. And so I pull over. I'm just off the bridge, and I'm like a tire inside the drive lane from the shoulder. And I go to step off my bridge, and I put my foot out to go from like the second step to the ground, and a fucking car mirror went under my foot. If I would have been 2 seconds sooner because I didn't look where I was going, I would have been fucking smucked. You know, it's like people don't even think about it. To that person, they probably didn't even see me because she was still doing 30, 40 probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's whenever you see a vehicle on the side of the road, like you always like there's a lot of awareness that's been brought to, like, you know, well, police, of course, cops on the side of the road. Tow trucks are like, they're getting more and more, you know, awareness brought to that. Like, you know, if they're there with the flashing lights on, get over.
That's right. Yeah.
You see a truck, a four-wheeler, anybody parked on the side of the road, lights on or not, get over a lane. If you're in 4-lane, get over. And if it's 2 lanes, slow the fuck down.
That's right.
Like,
and if
you don't know when
lanes
someone
and
might
there's
walk
nobody
up.
coming, you can use the other lane.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it, I don't know. There just has to be some, and it's not even, I don't know what to call it.
No,
I guess common sense.
better licensing, really.
Yeah, and just better awareness. Like driving a vehicle, I think some people think it's their right, and it's not a right; it's a privilege. And it's I mean, it's you're driving something that's capable of killing people, really.
And you're in somebody else's workplace just because you're there for leisure. You're still in a workplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
So coming to my oh shit moment, and I think it's kind of funny that it's this one because considering what I've done through my career, my biggest oh shit moment that comes to mind, I was pulling just the lead of a Super Bee with rig mats on. Swamp mats. And I can't remember the name of the road now, but it's down by Hudson Hope. And you come off the highway, and the chain up area is right there, and then you go up a dirty hill.
Yeah, it's the Barrel Prairie, or no?
Farrell Creek. There we go.
Yeah. Barrel Creek, yeah.
Yeah. So
I know which one you mean. It's like 14% or something right after the chain up area.
Yeah, like turn left and go up, and then it's got that little S curve because the road keeps sloughing away and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. The Farrell Creek. Yeah. Anywho, I was out there for a couple weeks. That was actually when I was out there when you got in contact with me for Pro Trucker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we're going in there with just the lead, and we're chaining up, but you got to chain up for the hill and then take them off, and then go 12 or whatever it is K to on pavement, and then chain back up and go into the bush, and then reverse that on the way out. And it was early afternoon. I figured I could make the hill, right? Everybody on the radio was saying the hill was good. Well, the little pull after the chain up area was just not. And I got up there and I spun out. All right, I got to back down to the chain up area. Very inexperienced driving a truck with skinny steers, right? First truck I had ever drove. Well, no, not the first truck I had ever drove, but first one for a while. And I started backing up, and I started trying to steer, and just wasn't going too well, and tapped the brakes, and everything locked up. I thought for sure I was going to put a window in the back of that bunk with my lead. Like, just don't know. Still don't really know how I got it into the chain up area without wrecking anything. I do believe I realized quickly that the brakes weren't going to work. So I just grabbed high range reverse and then tried to get her woed up on the spike. Yeah, get her woed up on the spike and the Jake and just, shit my fucking pants. I was like, this is it. I'm going to fucking wreck something for the first time, and there's going to be nobody to blame but me because I'm 300 feet from the chain up area. So that's when I learned don't be lazy, just chain up.
Yeah, it's the if there's a doubt in your mind,
Yeah,
put them on.
exactly. And before that, I had always been in heavy haul. I'd never really done where you had the option to chain up or not.
Yeah.
So I was just being lazy.
I've been on that exact hill. When I first started hauling frac sand, that was the first load of frac sand I had was in there with a set of trains. And they wanted us to put 2 sets on and split. And then go to the top of the hill, take them off, and then, or like go to the top of the hill, drop your lead, run back down, grab your pup, take it to the top of the hill, train back up, take your chains off, drive down the pavement, and then put your chains back on, and then drive in. And then they wanted us to there was one, originally they wanted everybody to split at the far end too, which so the first day, of course, I did it the way they asked because I was there with another guy showing me the ropes. And I was thinking, man, this is a lot of work for that. And so I did the next time I thought, well, I can make it with 1 set if I split and then bobtail back up. And then I started going, well, I basically, when I was hauling loads in there, I either split or I put 2 sets usually. And then it got a little bit colder, so and the grader was on that hill steady because there were so many frac sand trucks running in there. But I started going 1 set and no split, and I managed to make it in there, no problem. And then one night it was 30 below out, and the grader had just finished coming down. It was all fresh gravel, and I went, okay. So I turned off. I did not split. I did not chain up. Went right up to the top and went, well, that was easy. No big deal, eh? Because that truck I had pulled really good. I just put it in 3rd gear and I managed to pull that whole hill 3rd direct, locked up. And then I didn't have to split. I didn't have to do anything at the top. So I was like, well, I can make it all the way into the other end.
Hold on.
And
you were pulling that hill in 3rd with a set of loaded Super Bs?
You betcha.
Huh.
3rd direct.
I think I was 2nd over.
Yeah. 3rd direct at and I'm not screwing around, 3rd direct at 1700.
Yeah, I think I was 2nd over at 19 because I'm an RPM whore.
Yeah. But no, it would go up there, no problem. But the problem I had was, about, I think it's kilometer 20 something where you go downhill. You come around a left curve and then you go down and then you go around a right curve and then there's a bridge down there.
Yeah, right where basically within 3K where it goes back to gravel.
Yeah, and that's where everybody spins out coming out.
Yes.
Yeah. I found out why I probably should have had chains on going down that hill.
Oh, to the bridge?
Yeah. The first corner gave me a little bit of a woohoo, and then the next corner gave me a lot of that, and I went across the bridge much faster than I wanted to. But
there's a guy that when I was out there that snapped off his pup on that bridge.
Oh, really?
Similar story to yours, truck and lead made it on, and then the pup grabbed something, and it stayed there though.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't manage to do that, so I was okay. I made it in okay, and then coming back out, I was feeling pretty brave, and I, even knowing that I'd come down that hill skating, I probably should have put a set on to come out, and then I spun out on that hill and blocked the road for a little while I put 2 sets on in the middle of the hill to scrape my way to the top with it empty. So
real good.
Yeah, real impressive, right? So yeah, when there's a little doubt in your mind,
yeah, just
don't be a hero.
And that, not trying to make excuses, but that truck I was driving probably shouldn't have been there.
No.
That white flat top, front air ride. Yeah, no, shouldn't have been in there.
No, that's not a matting truck. Mine was like I had that T8. It had 430s in the back end, tall 24s, and like it was basically a winch spec with no winch. And yeah, my excuse was operator error.
The linkage between the driver's seat and the throttle.
Yeah, that's I can honestly say most of my moments like that would be because of that exact same thing.
I think the problem with most trucks is that.
Yeah, that is usually the weak link. And anybody who says that they've made it, however many kilometers, like I did some math the other day and I've got about 4 million, something like that under my belt since I started driving. And, in anybody who says they've made it that kind of time without a moment where they fucked up themselves or, they're bullshitting you.
That's right.
Like,
yeah.
It doesn't happen.
No, my dad has been driving over 40 years now.
Yeah.
And never had a fuck up really. And then this couple winters ago, we were trucking together coming down by Blue Ridge there.
Yeah.
And it was a dirty of a snowstorm. And we're coming back. We actually stopped in Whitecourt and thought about it. We're like, well, what do you think? Eat a cheeseburger, talk about it. He's like, I want to get home. All right, well, let's go. Whatever. And we're going along, and this VDM tri-drive blows past us in the left lane. And yeah, we could have been going faster, but the left lane was unplowed. It was blowing snow, like just not a professional move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he blinds me. I grabbed the rumble strips and kept the rumble strips, and but I was on the straightaway when he passed Dad. We were just east of the Blue Ridge turn where it goes around that slight curve.
Yeah.
And he knew he was going around a curve, so he caught the rumble strips and then lost him and couldn't find him again, and just went down into the ditch. Like, no damage or nothing. Towed him out. He drove away, but still, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Yeah.
I remember him coming on the radio, just calm as can be. He's like, well, I'm in the ditch now. I'm like, what? What do you mean you're in the ditch?
It's the guy that I held logs with for a long time, anyways. In Whitecourt, he was in the ditch. And I mean, we can say he used to end up in there. Early in his career, he was in quite a bit. So there was a few times where it was probably a good thing it was him who had to take the ditch when there was something in front that he couldn't avoid. And his saying used to be, yeah, 1 minute I was driving down the road looking at the scenery, and the next thing I know, I was driving down the scenery looking at the road.
That's a good one. That one's taken off on that new TikTok app there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know if you're on there, but it's a hell of a way to kill like hours. It's terrible.
That's probably why I'm not on there.
Yeah, it's really good for grain elevator lineups.
Yeah, I don't have those. So.
Lucky you. Those really ruin a guy's day. There was one a couple weeks ago I pulled in, and yeah, it was like 5.5 hours I sat there.
Holy.
Yeah, it's just brutal.
I remember lineups like dumper lineups at the chip dumper in Hinton. Sometimes it would get like that, especially if one dumper would go down. Oh my God, it was like originally everybody that went in there, you had to know how to back up, or else you basically had to quit because it was just back on.
And then they put the new scale up. I think we've chatted about this before.
Yeah, the drive on, and then but after the drive on one was done, then of course nobody's used to backing onto anything. So if the drive on one went down, oh my God, the lineup would be around the corner, like yeah.
Oh, terrible. So, not
any further questions?
There was another one, and like I said, I just lost it. Don't know. Maybe Greg should be in charge of these. If you have questions, send them to Greg.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I could try to organize them, as organized as I am sometimes.
Yeah, for me, it's like help. I need an adult.
Yeah, I did I like to think I'm organized, and then I was sending in my article to John at Pro Trucker for next month for January, and you'd think it'd be pretty easy now because it's only every 2 months, right?
You'd
So I'm
think.
not like, yeah, so I'm not putting one in every month. And then last month I wrote both articles because I had enough to make it one, but it would have been too big, so I split it up into two articles. So it's like perfect. Next month, close to Christmas, don't have to worry about it. So if you talk to John, he'll tell you I'm notoriously late in putting in my articles. You might sense a theme here, but yeah. So he'll send me a message, and then I think that I think his actual hard due date is usually about 8 days after when he tells me he needs it by, just to make sure that he gets it on time. So he sent me a message just before Christmas. You got that article, and I said, yep. And I just switched phones, and I couldn't get into my OneDrive from the road. So I said, well, I've got it done. I'll send it to you. And one thing led to another. So it was Boxing Day, and I'm sending John my article. And so I just get my computer fired up, got home, click the buttons, find the article, click, send, perfect, done. And then, I don't know, 2, 3 hours later, I go, I wonder what that looks like. It's 2 months since I wrote it. I'd like to see what I wrote, kind of remember, right? So go back to check it out. And I just clicked on his email that I sent him, looked at it, and all I had was about 3 paragraphs and ended abruptly in the middle of it. So as I was going back in to try frantically find where the article was, because that John sends me a message, and for a guy in his 60s to say WTF, what are you smoking? And but anyways, what happened was that it had automatically saved in one spot on my computer, and then the final one I had saved right to OneDrive. And so I just didn't even really look. I looked, saw the title, sent, never double checked my work, and yeah, so a good thing I went back on it anyways. That's my level of organization.
My level of organization has greatly improved since I got in office. I'll say that. Things are looking up around here. I got an office set up now, rent in a bay. Well, a spot in a bay. What a difference that makes. I actually enjoy fixing stuff now.
Yeah, when you're not cold and laying on the gravel and freezing your fingers off, or
Well, and I'm
when
kind
you
of
can have
spoiled. Like I'm renting a spot in a fully outfitted shop, so if I need anything, like there's shop supplies all there and all that. So
Oh yeah, and any tools that you might not have,
yeah,
you can
exactly.
probably. Yeah, I will say I do miss that. Like when I had my log trucks, I had 1.5 bays for a while, and then I just had the one. But it was so nice. I mean, you had everything there, and then my buddy Billy had the bay next door, and so I always was able to, if I didn't have something, I could walk across, borrow it from Bill, and he's a heavy duty mechanic too, and has every bloody tool you could imagine. So you guys get along quite well because I mean he's basically runs all pre-emissions and he's got a glider, 2 gliders actually. So
Need to get him on
and
here one day.
yeah, you would. He's got some stories too. He's a good guy, and he's done quite well for himself that way. Like I think he's running 4 still. He's just stayed like right in there, like 3, 4 trucks all the time, and been doing it for quite a few years.
You can't afford a bay with one truck anymore. I don't think.
No, it's pretty tough.
In our area, I was looking. I never found anything under $1,000 a month.
No.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, and even when I first got mine, I had the one truck, and then I split it with another guy, and I was paying 1,200, and then we split the rent on it. But I mean, the worst part about it was such a small bay to split. Like if once you had both trucks in there, good luck working on anything really serious because you had hardly any walking around room, right?
Yeah.
And that was a bay that only fit like my tri-drive with the pull trailer loaded just barely fit in there.
Oof.
So yeah, and
Yeah,
then
I
like,
can't get trailers or anything in my bay, but
yeah, but trailer maintenance is pretty simple at the best of times, anyways.
to put it bluntly, not my problem. Yeah, we
Yeah,
just pull ours through the grease bay in Atchison there.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's way easier.
I've been doing that. That's what basically my year's been for service. I mean, I would just pull in there, get them to do the wash, service, grease, all in one shot. And quite frankly, I know it's a little bit of extra money to get them to do it, but my free time is to me worth more than crawling around on the ground. So, and yeah, I don't know. I'm also, that is one thing I will say, that if you are running a new truck, is nice, is the longer oil change intervals, because you don't have to do that near as often.
Yeah. For your next service, I'm gonna refer you like 2 blocks down the road.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we won't go over what my CVIP experience was, but
I think we should touch
yeah,
on that, but I mean that's just me. Names don't need to be named, but it's
yeah, yeah,
it's the typical CVIP shit, right? Like I've got mine coming up the end of this month, January, and
yeah.
so I was in the shop before Christmas, no, after Christmas, with the mechanic going over like, okay, what do I need to do here? Just get ahead of it, right?
Hmm.
I ended up putting new steers on, so there's that. But we talk about tires so much. I'm gonna have to step away here for a moment. I will be right back.
Okay. I may just do the same, but I'm not going to turn anything off this time.
No, I'm just gonna mute my mic here.
Yeah, well, we can cut this off. So I'll tell you one thing about my office. I'm going to have to start turning the heat on down here.
Look at that timing.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not too shabby. Right, steer tires.
Which you don't talk about near enough.
Near enough, no. I actually went with Yokohamas.
Yeah.
Apparently better for gravel.
Well, I spec'd on the spec that I'm working on. I spec'd out Bridgestones on this one, which is a departure for me. If I mean,
And see that's me going to Yokohamas is also a departure. Now, I have not been hearing good things about Bridgestone.
well,
Or sorry,
given
not Bridgestone.
Michelin's.
BFG.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Bridgestones, I don't know. I just haven't used it. I haven't used them in a long time, and just the last two, well, the steers that I had on this one, the Michelin's. I mean, to have done two steers already on just straight highway, because I mean, you know how much gravel I run. I mean, you can in 15,000 clicks, there might be 1,500 clicks on gravel, I would say, and that's probably pushing it.
I'd say that's way more than. Well, I guess you did
Than
go up
what?
north.
But even so, like I didn't run on much gravel there. I mean, I ran into that mine. So there was what, 25, 30 clicks in and out. Um, I ran, oh, where the hell else did I go? I mean, I run off into a couple of job sites here or there, but that's only like 3, 4 clicks in and out. Um, yeah, yeah, you're probably right. 1,500 is probably way high, but somehow I had that separation on the first one, and then I had stone drilling on the second one. So how does a tire that spent its life on the highway stone drill in less than 200,000 clicks?
You know what I bet they would tell you is that it was the gravel they put on the roads for the wintertime or some shit. Because
Yeah,
mine,
I don't know.
I haven't done my year kilometers for the year yet, but I
Hmm.
do a lot more gravel than you. And mine stone drilled. I just got under a year out of my Michelin steers, X-Line Energy steers, which I know are a highway steer, but they were the old style when it was all harder rubber. So I expected
Mm-hmm.
better out of them. But yeah, I went to the Yokohama, which is also a departure. Like, I'm still going to run Michelin drives,
Mm-hmm.
but for steers, I'm not going back.
Well, I'm gonna, like I said, I think I'll try the Bridgestones. I know I had them last time I had them was back when Dad and I ordered our Peeps in like '09,
And
and they were good. What's that?
you're going all the way around Bridgestones?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and because the drives I'm running, those XDN2 Michelins are good. Um, there's a comparable Bridgestone, so I also would like to just see how it holds up, like comparatively. And because the rolling resistance is pretty close to the same, and it's got kind of the same siping and everything on it. But I also may on this one I might actually get a separate set of winters now that I'm pulling trains, and just get a separate set of wheels and mount up some winters.
And those
I
wheels
just might,
must be black.
because white is not pretty.
No, shit, no. Have you seen those new Alcoa black? Like they're actually making them black now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There is a outfit out of Spruce Grove that put that on their, I believe it's a 9-axle.
Oh really? On the trailer?
Yeah, tandem tridem single.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, tandem tridem. Anywho, Aspen, really nice bed. And behind their T800 tri drive, black Alcoas on everything. Looks goddamn beautiful.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah, it's in putting together, like trying to put together a truck like style wise, it's pretty hard to find something that hasn't been done. And there's so many different looks, like for me, that I like. Like I do like the blacked out look. I don't know that I would do it, but I do like the all black. And then I also do like a lot of chrome. I hate polishing chrome. Um, I like trucks that are like single color, painted tanks and that. But I also really like retro, which is, full disclosure, probably the way my paint job will go. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's actually fun to do. That's one thing I miss about selling trucks is specking trucks.
Yeah, making them look. I like, building them, like you say, but I don't know how I do with just building them. Like, I want to drive it after.
That's maybe why I'm sitting where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to send you the spec on this. There's a few things that haven't been changed on it yet. Suspension being one of them. The rear suspension, because I just hadn't decided what at the time that we kind of went through it.
So
So
you and I were talking about 8-bag
mhm,
with another fella and chaining up, and I was walking through the shop the other day, and
mhm.
there was that's an 05. Yeah, it's an 05 with on 8-bag, but he's got the wide axles on the 8-bag, which I did not
Oh yeah,
know was a thing. Which would make chaining up just fine.
yeah. Well, and I talked to my brother just the other day because I asked him, because I said I said I thought that you'd ordered 8-bag on some of your newer ones because they got a bunch of Kenworths there, and he said now he's got 12 on 8-bag and a tri drive on 12-bag, and yeah, and I said okay, like what do you think of him? He said absolutely love him. I said really, like because it's never been my thing.
But does he keep
The
driving them?
old. Well, he's driven them, but he said I even have two in the bush. I said really, and he said actually the guys in the bush love them. He said the ride, good, mind you, they're not hauling anything with a high center of gravity, right?
Yeah, that would
Because
make
that
a
would
big
be,
difference.
yeah, like I mean if you're high center of gravity in the bush, I definitely wouldn't do it because I know from driving Billy's got an old Kenworth tandem with 8-bag on it, and I've hauled logs with it with 25 on the drives, and that thing is. Mm, there, how do you put it nicely? Scary.
Yeah, and see, I pulled like 9 and 10 axles with 8-bag, and it just feels like you're getting pushed around. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards like we were saying that Primax, but the lower because I don't want an overly like I don't want to I'm not specing a truck for the bush, so I don't need to have it overly tall. And if I went with regular Primax or New Way, you really can't get away from a really tall frame height. And so, but there is a Primax now with an 8.25 inch ride height on it, which is the same as low air leaf on a Pete.
Oh, well then.
And so then you get the advantage of high stability and no spring on there either. That's one thing I don't like about lower leaf or airline or anything with a spring. Like that's why I like New Way better. It's all on the airbag, right? And I do feel like when you have less load on it, like if you are empty, I think just straight up air rides better than anything with a spring, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like bobtailing with my low air leaf sucks.
Yeah. But once you put like at least even a trailer on it, it's not bad, right?
Well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, running empty, I don't have any complaints at all.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've seen like so there like I mean, and that's an option on a Kenworth too, is the 400L, right? So it's the same suspension. I don't care what anybody says. It's PACCAR's PACCAR, and they just put a AG 400L is a 400 air low air.
Yeah, because they can't share part numbers or part names yet.
Yeah.
Did you see
So
this concept dash for the new Peterbilts?
no, I never did.
It's fucking
Mm.
terrible.
For so
Okay.
is it what for like the 579s and those ones or
Well, and allegedly they're phasing out the 389 in 2023, 2022.
yeah, I could see it.
Which would be the only reason I'd go buy a new truck. But even if I did, I'm not driving it. So, well, now I'm trying to remember who shared that so I could send it to you. You know,
Well, I'd heard similar
the
about I've but I mean
show prep thing we were talking about earlier.
oh there you go. Yeah, I've heard similar about the like the old cab for the Kenworths, like the 900s and T800s, and that cab's going to be going away. But I've been hearing that for 4 or 5 years. But it still kind of makes me want to build a 900L. Well, you still can build one.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of feel like that about the W900B.
Yeah,
I think honestly that would be their worst move, but I could believe it the way the industry's going.
and I mean you gotta. I mean, being somebody that has a business, you got to understand that they got to do what sells and what I mean, their bread and butter is fleets, and that's where they're trying to grow, and they don't sell a whole pile of them into fleets, right? So
But to get rid of your staple body style is a pretty rash move.
yeah, yeah. I even what kind of surprises me though is that like well they've got their what is it the 567 set forward that some guys are doing up, and I've seen some nice ones. I'll say that. But what surprises me is that they haven't done a long hood version of that. Like, and you think they almost would have to before they put the other one to bed, right?
Yeah, I agree. Like, and I have seen quite a few of those trucks done up nicely, and I'd honestly say enough of them that I would be tempted to go that way if I was going to look at a driver truck, right?
Yeah, I mean I will say that like about the cab, even on the like the 990, because I look pretty hard at doing that, but it's just not what I want right now. Like I don't know. There's a part of me I like the style
And
of the old cab.
I was gonna ask you if you did look at the 990 because I sat in one, granted, for like 2-3 minutes. Looked around at the dealership one day, um, and I might be kind of rose-colored glasses because I was pulled up in a C500 non-aerodyne. So, but it was nice enough that I would go back and like I'd drive one and consider one.
Yeah, I've considered it. I've kind of bounced back and forth with it, and to say I'm 100% sold on my other decision yet is not true.
Well,
I might work on both specs, and really it's not that big of a difference, like spec wise, because everything that I'm changing is down below, right? So
the make or break for me would be if you can get it. Oh, quick on the mute button at least.
yeah,
Dog interference.
yeah.
They were both
So you were gonna say,
they were both in here for like this whole time, 2 hours.
no, that's pretty good.
So that's pretty impressive. Anyway, the make or break for me with the 990 would be if you can get it without the smart wheel,
Mm.
which I don't see them doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to have a look. I'll have to ask I'll have to ask Charlie.
If I was
I was
specing
gonna
a truck now, which I was going to mention this to you anyway, also, you should get it without any of the audio equipment. Like run their speaker wires, but kind of that's it.
Yeah.
Stop there, kind of deal. Because you're going with the full gauge package on the dash, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell them to leave everything out, and then take it to a place.
Get it put in.
I know a place.
I know you know a place and you're quite happy with it.
They kind of pissed me off the other day when I was there, but they righted it, so they're a good place.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I had thought of that. Like I didn't put in any like extra. Like I didn't go get, the factory sub or any of that stuff because I mean, for what you pay extra for it, you can just go get your own put in. But I don't think there's actually any financial advantage to leaving it out. So I think if you
I'm not talking about financial advantage. No,
just ease of
I mean, there's a saying I might have said once or twice, but there's no sense fucking around when you're fucking around. You're already building it, If you're
Yeah.
already gonna do it anyway, what's the difference between running it 4 blocks down the street and
Yeah.
getting it all done, right?
Yeah. No, and I did plan on putting audio in this one too. So, and I also, so what's your opinion on the 900L, like, so 72-inch aero cab flat? That's what I'm looking at. That's what I kind of want. But with, would you go side windows or no side windows? I'm kind of going for more of a side windows.
Always side windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just me. My favorite thing, I would say, the only thing I miss about driving a Kenworth is having those windows because they're right when you open it. You're right like pillow height, right? Kind of bad.
And they have the screens and
yeah, so you can crack both of those open in the summertime and sleep like you're camping outside, basically, right?
yeah.
And also from a guy that has been sick on the road once or twice, those doors being right there are convenient, If you got a Ralph, it's an easy 1-2 scooch.
I've been lucky enough not to be there, but I wouldn't order them without the doors. I was going back and forth on the windows. Like I'm going with the back window because I like having a back window. But I've been back and forth on the side windows with the, like I say, just with the look I was going for. But I don't know. I'm kind of starting to be of the same way because I do like also having that window to kind of cheat with sometimes when you're backing up as well.
Well, and that's what else I was going to get to is that having that and a back window, you're going to be able to see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I had on the tri-drive, and I would not have it without, honestly.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like, I don't want to give too much away and ask what color it'll be, but you could always get that see-through wrap stuff, put it over your window.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I could. I'm not going to say much else about what I'm doing on it, but
yeah.
Well, and we'll see what what it comes to and everything else. The dollar being what it is right now, I know it was pretty advantageous to order rather than try to pick something off the lot. Plus, just picking off the lot anymore, um,
Super
I
lame.
don't know. Yeah, and you just don't get and you just you get some of what you want, but you never get all of what you want.
Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't. I would have to search around pretty hard, and I know it wouldn't be anywhere up around here.
Yeah, like there, Pete wise, because I look too. Like, I mean, I like 389s as well. I'm just, when it comes right down to it, I just am a Kenworth guy. I just kind of figured that out. Everybody has their thing, and I mean, I like my Star. I looked at 4900 EX, and I mean, there's still an off chance that that could be what it would be too. But, um, yeah, I
See,
looked at,
trade in your Aerodyne truck on a 4900, and then
and then
spec your
order.
other truck anyway.
Yeah, yeah, a guy could do that, and
Responsible
there is.
spending, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like I could definitely look at that. What was I gonna say? Yeah, as far as 480 or 389s, Manitoba, Peterbilt, Manitoba has a ton of nicely spec trucks for, well, for what I do, what you do, really, and they tend to do them up pretty nice too.
Yeah, I was looking at there was two down in southern Alberta that I was looking at when I was tossing the idea around of going
Oh yeah, yeah.
newer. And what I've noticed a big trend in that was a deal breaker on a lot of trucks to me was the weed burner exhaust, gas burner exhaust.
Mm,
Does not work when you're hauling out of farmers' fields.
no, well the ones that I looked at, the 389s I looked at out there out east, they were all regular exhaust.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never even
Yeah.
looked out there because I decided that was a silly idea.
Yeah, they tend, well, I mean, because they would be selling to a lot of probably grain haulers as well, right? So, but they had one actually. They still have it on their website there. It's like a kind of a, I don't even know how to describe the yellow color, but maybe like almost like that. I don't
Okay,
know. The light's shitty in here, but it's like
visual
that with orange. With
visual on
yeah.
the podcast, Greg. Come on now.
Oh shit. Yeah. Well, I'm showing you, but yeah, a little bit of a
Like a dark
um,
mustard.
yeah, kind of a mustard yellow with like an orange and red stripe on it.
Oh
And looked
yeah,
pretty. Yeah, it looked kind of old school. It would look really good, I think, with like 379 headlights on it, and because it's also funny too, like how a guy's preference changes on those things. I know for the longest time I used to like the big single headlights, the round singles, and
I liked them
then I
until
went
I
back.
drove a truck with them. You like
Yeah.
the one that I drove was well that white flat top, and it had like the speaker LEDs. Supposed to be like the top of the line single headlight, and
Yeah.
you still can't see shit.
Well, I just found that I don't know, there was something about the look I didn't like anymore. And then I liked the dual round, like the old 359 style.
Yes,
And which is still all right. But then I don't know, maybe because I'm a child of the '80s, I kind of and looking at Rob's like Pete Fan Rob there, all of his pictures from the '80s and '90s, all the old Pete's like that. It made me want to go back to the square, the dual squares, just like when I was a kid.
when you were a youngin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put new signals on the end of my square headlights the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and those are aluminum buckets. So it's there's a lot of self tappers in there at its age
Oh.
now. So next time I go to do signal lights, I think I'll need new headlight buckets. And I agree with you. I'm just gonna stay with the square, the dual square. I think that's just what Peterbilt should have, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. I like them. Uh, the dual round is a close second.
Yeah. And if you're doing a heavy haul truck with a big hood, then you got to go square single.
No, you don't have to.
Looks wise, you do.
No, no, no. I know a fella. See, I used to agree with you. And then I know a fella that decided to decide for himself, you know? And he did them at Avita. There was a truck that he put them on. And it actually looks good.
Dual square on a high hood?
Dual square on a high hood, yes.
Hmm.
I will show you right now. Again, with the visual aids on the podcast and stuff, but whatever.
Well, then maybe you just have to say where it is on the gram or whatever, if it is on there.
Yeah, MK7.5R_Allen. Jeez, I'm gonna.
Oh, it's like you're being censored again. Oh, I lost you. It's kind of funny that we make it to like the 1 hour mark and that's where it shits the bed.
You've been listening to the Semi Crazy Podcast.
If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. You can find me on Instagram, Luke Dirk Phillips.
And you can find me on Instagram, Semi Crazy Inc., and on Facebook, Semi Crazy Truck Pictures. Thanks for listening.